We started looking at the Highland Ave medical office building project with Boston Development Group with several characteristics in mind. One is it's on the Highland Ave corridor, and the building needs to be iconic and supportive of branding of potential tenants that are coming in where patients know how to find the building.
It's a unique building in that it is not just concrete with very few windows. It's a lot of window line.
We tried to be intentional about the site and being sensitive to the surrounding neighbors. This site not only has commercial around it, such as a crane facility behind us, it also has residential neighbors directly adjacent and across the street.
With our design and forward thinking on what's available in the property, we have the ability to customize the space for your exact needs. And as we've mentioned, we're optimistic that we can find a full building tenant for the property. We have also designed this so it can accommodate smaller users. So I think customization is important and a great experience for your patients and employees that are coming to work every day.
Welcome to Boston Real Estate Times. Our guest today is Jodie Zussman. She is CEO of Boston Development Group. Recently, her company got permission to build a 50,000 square foot medical building on Highland Avenue in Needham. We are going to talk to her about that upcoming medical building, what type of tenants she is looking for, and when the construction might start. So Jodie, welcome to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, excellent. So what an exciting project it is going to be.
Yes.
In Needham. And also Boston being the center of healthcare industry and so much demand for this space and everything. For the last 21 years, the Boston has received the maximum amount of NIH funding compared with any city. Mm-hmm. So now in that context, tell us about your upcoming project in Needham.
So Maugel DeStefano has designed a beautiful medical office building for us. We are right now in the stages of value engineering the costs because construction costs have skyrocketed. Interest rates are still high, but there really are no medical office buildings being built right now. So after about 60 days of value engineering, we will start construction documents, which will take about 6 months. And then hopefully first, second quarter of 2025, we could break ground. So right now we're having JLL prepare marketing brochures and we'll start marketing. So we're looking hopefully for a full building tenant. Otherwise, we'll multi-tenant the building.
And what type of tenant you are looking for?
Any medical tenant, not so much surgical, but we could do an MRI center there. We could do some urgent care. We could do anybody visiting. We have 5 spaces per 1,000, so 250 underground parking spaces.
If you get tenant tomorrow, what happens?
We would start right away on construction documents. It would take about 6 months to get that done. Then we have to go for a construction permit, which might take 30, 60, 90 days, depending on the town of Needham. And then we could break ground. We have some soil work to do, and then foundation, and then put the building up. It's a unique building in that it is not just concrete with very few windows. It's a lot of window line. It's unique in that it has 250 parking spaces all underground. It's accessible right from Route 128 and close to the turnpike. It's only about 20 minutes from downtown. But the uniqueness is that anybody wanting to go see their doctor who normally has to travel downtown can now just do it in the suburbs locally.
How did you find this location?
We actually owned 3 manufacturing buildings on this property. And rents, we turned them into office buildings. Rents never really increased. So we decided to look at what is the best use for this property. We were able to assemble another lot behind this property that used to belong to a pick crane business. And with the 2 lots together, actually 3 or 4 lots together now that we've merged, we were able to build a 50,000 square foot medical office building. We're very excited about this new opportunity. We are looking forward to finishing the building and putting tenants in and being able to provide medical services for the suburbs.
We believe that this is the prime location for medical office in suburban Boston. When you look at the surrounding communities of Needham, Wellesley, Weston, it's an underserved location, and Boston Development Group creating this building in a purpose-built manner, we feel as if we'll be able to take advantage of a lot of the aging properties that are in the area that are currently housing medical office and healthcare providers. A lot of properties, as we've seen, do not have the parking capacity. So when you think about the patient experience, being able to come park underground in inclement weather, get right to your appointment and get out in an efficient manner, that's a huge advantage. And the healthcare business is a very competitive business right now. And trying to attract patients to not have to go, as Jodie had mentioned, into Boston, but may have world-class healthcare available to them right within 10 or 15 minutes of their house, we think is going to be very attractive to users.
Working with Boston Development Group on the Highland Ave medical office building projects, we were trying to bring several design features to the building. One is a sensitive and intentional approach to the site. It is on a busy commercial corridor surrounded by not just commercial properties, but also multifamily houses and single-family houses across the street. Adding things like natural light and softer feeling site features around the property for patients coming in and to make the space more friendly. Being sensitive to the environment. This is going to be one of the first buildings in Needham under the opt-in code that is a fully electric building. We have been able to, on this site, given its steeply sloping site, been able to provide 250 parking spaces to meet the medical needs of a 50,000 square foot office building, but also disguise them and actually bring them below grade so they're not visible from the road, so that the community is not seeing the impact of all the vehicles that will be at the site. Within the medical office building, we've added features for staff and patients as well. There's outdoor gathering spaces as part of this building that include a patio off on the side of the building that staff can have an outdoor break area. We've designed a clean signature building that will be a great branding effort for any tenant that decides to move into this building, so that patients have an easy, identifiable building that they're trying to get to on a busy road like Highland Ave. The Highland Ave site is a part of a growing trend for medical office buildings to provide more care near where patients live, minimizing their travel time to see their doctors and caregivers, and making access more easier to get to. One of the things that we were able to do with this site is the existing site had about a 30-foot drop off from Highland Ave to the rear of the site. It had a combination of 5 different buildings, and they were all basically 1 or 2 story buildings with parking around. What we've been able to do by consolidating the parking and moving it underground, we've actually been able to increase the landscape area on this site, as well as disguising that parking, even though we're adding a big increase in parking to support a medical office building. The overall impact on the site is far less than what the existing building characteristics were. The reduction in impervious paved area allowed us to increase the green space and landscape area around the site, by over 82% as part of this development. The modern design we developed here with Boston Development Group is an aluminum composite panel siding, a lot of window and glass space on the exterior walls, sunscreens on top of the windows. There are screens that disguise the upper level of parking underneath the building. And then again, another lower level of parking below that is reducing the impact of the actual built infrastructure on this particular site.
And what about site lighting?
Yes. So site lighting in this particular building is full cutoff lighting. Again, parking, because parking is below grade, a lot of the lighting for parking areas is actually shielded completely from the neighbors or residential neighbors around us. And we only have 25% of the parking that has exposed lighting that is night sky friendly and helps keep all of the light on our property versus spilling into neighboring sites. It's going to be an all electric building, so that project will have no gas on to the site.
John, tell us about some elements of sustainability and green energy in the Needham project.
Sure. So the Needham project is under the new opt-in energy code, which requires full electrification of the building. There's some limited opportunities where gas could be used, but the building has to have the capacity for all electric at any point in the future, so that if there is a device today that only runs on gas, we have to provide enough power in our building for that to be converted 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is as the technology changes. In addition, we're providing enough electrical capacity that 20% of the parking spaces can be supplied with car charging stations. So it's quite interesting and challenging to get all of the rooftop air handlers that you need to supply a 50,000 square foot medical office building, plus solar panels, plus the electric heat pumps that are air source cooled. And it's interesting and a fun challenge to find the real estate and space for all of those and create something that is still visually pleasing for everybody that's driving around the building to not be able to see those elements and have them in the background, just support the building. We're very proud to be designing healthcare facilities for the last 30 years, and excited to be part of a growing community like Needham to design a signature project right on the Highland Ave corridor.